Dare you, Mr. Spears? You had me fooled. And you too, Mrs. Spears. Death to all of them.
Does that mean something?
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of On the Line. I'm your boy, Kris Avalon, and I don't know how long we're going to do this video. I'm going to keep it short and to the point. We got a lot of topics. Basically, we're just going to do 3 topics because I like to keep it short and sweet, and I know how people's attention spans are. But basically, if this is you tuning in for the first time, On the Line is basically a show where I jump on the line. Hey, Sailor Mermaid, glad you're back. For this episode, because you were here for the other one, which I did on the baby. If you have not seen that clip, that video, definitely check that one out. But yeah, so On the Line is basically a show where I just jump on and I just talk about the latest entertainment news and pop culture topics. So the 3 topics I'm going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about Britney's, the latest on Britney Spears, which might be some good news, hopefully. This will speed this whole process forward. We're going to break down this whole debacle with Scarlett Johansson versus Disney, and they shady asses. And then, well, the first story we're going to talk about Nick Cannon. So there seems to be some trouble over, in regards to, he has a daytime talk show. I don't know if some of y'all are aware, but yes, the show was supposed to come out last year, but due to some anti-Semitic comments that he had made, it was postponed, plus COVID and all that other stuff was going on. So that also played into it. But yeah, they said that we're going to postpone the show for a year, and then we're going to let you debut in 2021, let this boil over. He did the work and apologized and invited some rabbis, and we had a legitimate conversation with them about some of the anti-Semitic remarks that he made and educated him on that. So for those of you who are living under a rock, he made some comments, it said, he was feeling the backlash. So now they're saying word on the curb is that he's having a hard time booking guests for his upcoming daytime talk show, which is going to be shooting in Harlem beginning in September. I almost said next month, but August ain't until Sunday. So Nick ruffled feathers last summer after making comments that some consider anti-Semitic while talking on his Canon Class podcast. He, came under fire for saying that Black people are the true Hebrews. And then he wound up stating, it's never hate speech. You can't be anti-Semitic when you are the Semitic people. When we are the same people who Jewish people want to be, that's our birthright. Now, in the aftermath, MTV and Viacom distanced themselves from Nick Cannon until he educated himself by meeting with rabbis. He even apologized, although he was called a sellout by many for doing so. Now, Nick tweeted the following, stating, I heard an entire community and it pained me to the core. I thought it couldn't get any worse. When I watched my own community and called me a sellout for apologizing, good night, enjoy Earth. My thing is, you know what? If you say something that's deemed ignorant when you know better, you do better. That's what I usually say. And Nick took the time to educate himself on the matter. It's like, you know what? I feel that him saying that, Black people are the true Israelites, whatever the case is, we all know that, Israel is in Africa, it's on the map. If you're going to make comments that is deemed controversial, it would have been nice if he would have did some sort of a panel where he would have had different opinions at the table rather than someone who has been, I forget who it was, the guy's actual name, but he was someone who I remember, if I recall correctly, had come under fire for some anti-Semitic comments in the past. So that was probably another thing that rubbed him the wrong way. Now, his show is supposed to, they said it's supposed to premiere in the fall. Now they're saying they're having trouble booking A-list celebrity names due to many not wanting to be associated with its host. Now, an insider, this is according to OK Magazine. So we can kind of take this with a grain of salt, but for entertainment purposes, let's just humor ourselves with this situation so we can just give an opinion. The show's producers are having a bit of a hard time finding the guests it needs to launch with in the fall because publicists are worried about putting big names on his show because of the scandal. Because many are reluctant to appear on Nick Cannon's upcoming show, they're saying that he's hoping that he can get his ex-wife Mariah, as in Carrie, is the one Mariah I know, will appear to get the ball rolling. However, it's unclear whether the fantasy singer will break the ice. So my thing is, I don't think it was, I'm trying to remember if it was Louis Farrakhan. I know that he's been associated with Louis Farrakhan in the past, and he has quoted Louis Farrakhan, and people deem Louis Farrakhan to be anti-Semitic, and there's been some controversy around his association with him. But child, there's been people in the Republican Party that's been associated with far worse, and y'all give them a pass. So to me, maybe he needs to take the route of Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams can't book no A-list guests either, but that ain't never stopped her from saying the shit out her damn mouth, and to keep that show going on her show. The show going that she does, and her saying the dumb shit that she says. So, not to equate what he said with what some of the stuff that she does, but they do say things that are deemed controversial, so they're in the same boat. But the thing about it, if you can't book guests, then try to work your show around you and the audience and the person. This is when you got to get creative. See, and this is another thing too. This also shows that Hollywood has a problem. Y'all have not created the next generation of personalities and talk show hosts. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of us are currently on YouTube saying what needs to be said and giving you the meat and potatoes of pop culture and topics and things of that nature. We're not restricted by the certain guidelines that you have to do when you are a part of Viacom, when you're a part of daytime television or whatever the case is. So yeah, they're going to go after someone like a Nick Cannon, but when you look at it, it's like, look at them. Hollywood is scrambling for the next Ellen DeGeneres, and they're looking at Kelly Clarkson, of all people, who got to pay her husband $200,000 a month in child support and spousal support. And I like Kelly Clarkson because I like her music. But as far as media personality, you're looking at Kelly Clarkson, of all people, when there's so many of us, like I said, media mavens who have basically had to train ourselves, who are inspired by a lot of the people that came before us. Where's the next Arsenio Hall? Where's the next David Letterman? Jimmy Fallon's boring to me. Where's the next Arsenio Hall? Where's the next where's this next generation of media personalities that we all grow? Where's the next Oprah? Lord, forgive me for saying, where's the next Wendy Williams? Minus some of the ignorant shit she says, where is the next Wendy Williams? The unfiltered.
What?
Yeah, Oprah, there's no next you that's out here who's willing to take us to the next level of media mavens, personalities. I don't really see them. Like, I look in daytime television, I'm looking at late night TV is boring. Daytime TV is boring. I don't watch. The View is once Nutmeg leaves, we'll see how interesting the show will be without her. I don't watch The Real. The Talk might get interesting because they got Jerry O'Connell on there, so that might shake things up a bit. Tamron Hall's about to move to Chicago. But I don't see it. Like, Wendy Williams, I'm kind of over her because, she's been doing too much with her show. So to me, when I look at it, it's just like, y'all worry about booking guests. Where are the personalities? I'm just curious. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold off on this, and I'm going to wait until the show airs. And then when the show airs in September, then I'll get my opinion on that. But to me, personally speaking, I don't see amazing talk show personalities in daytime or nighttime. They're all on the internet. Myself, T.S. Madison, Funky Dineva, King of Reeds, Adrian Expression. We're all on social media right now, saying it like we mean it, doing what we need, doing what needs to be done. While y'all out here licking the crack of celebrities' asses because y'all think that's where the core of your ratings are. But if you ain't interested, people ain't gonna watch you. And I think Nick Cannon is charming and entertaining in his own way, but I don't know if he is interesting enough to watch for a talk show. But you know what? I'm gonna wait and see when it airs to see y'all need some gays on TV because we spice up every damn thing. Just saying. So let's get into this whole Scarlett Johansson debacle because there's a lot to break down on this. Now, we got the Britney thing coming up in a moment too. But yesterday, I was shocked. I mean, shocked when I had found out that Scarlett basically went to Disney and Marvel and basically is suing him for breach of contract. Now she's saying that them releasing the movie in theaters and on Disney Plus at the same time for a $30 fee is it cost her millions of dollars in back-end compensation, and those bonuses were tied to hitting box office benchmarks that Black Widow likely won't achieve. So a lot of times when people sign contracts, there's a deal where it's, oh, I won't take money up front, or I'll take a certain percentage up front, but also I make a certain percentage based on how much that's the back end deal, based on how much financially it does at the box office. Them releasing it and shortening a window or releasing it simultaneously on a streaming service and in a theater breaches the contract. Disney Plus came out and said this, which in my opinion was just, y'all missed the damn mark, and it made me hate y'all even more, and it's making me even think like I'm about to just unsubscribe from Disney Plus. They said there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. Excuse me. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global Did it crash? Did they kick me out the room? Like, what's going on? Let's see if it's the live is still going on oh yeah, it is. Because I'm looking at myself literally on a delay. Looking down at my phone. Again. Okay, we're back. So as I was saying before, the internet guys rudely interrupted me. So the company went on to say that the stars already received, and this is what pissed me off. First of all, not only did y'all say that it has no merit, her lawsuit has no merit because of the pandemic, when we all know the contract was set in stone long before y'all even knew a COVID damn virus existed. So for y'all to even go there and blame it on that is disgusting. And then this is the worst part where they pulled. These motherfuckers had the nerve to point out how much money she made off the film, saying that, well, you already received so many words. You already got $20 million. So you should be grateful. You got $20 million for playing Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. So why are you complaining? Why are you bitching? Yes, it'd be like that, you know. We have technical difficulties. Sometimes it happens. It is what it is. We live. But let's get back. So to blame her and then turn everything on them when it's like you breached the contract, just pay the girl her money. See, this is the thing, what a lot of people don't know. Maybe you do know this. But when HBO Max pulled their little stunt, which pissed off a lot of people, from Denis Villeneuve to Christopher Nolan, and they were very vocal about what happened with that. And I'm a little worried about Dune, because Dune looks really good, and I want this movie to do really well so we can get the second half of the book made into a movie. But you're releasing it simultaneously on HBO Max. So I'm really hoping, and they already said they're developing a TV series based on a certain aspect of the Dune world. So I'm actually looking forward to all of that, but I'm really hoping that we get the second half of his book, and I really hope that okay. So so what they did was, so what HBO Max did, because you know when Wonder Woman 1984 came out, they had it come out. That was the first movie they had, if I stand correctly. That movie came out simultaneously back last year on HBO Max, and I think it was in the theaters also, but it was limited, like 30% capacity. So what they did was, because you know the whole thing that happened, it was a breach of their contract. They actually paid Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins extra amount of money. I think they got $10 million more than what they got for the film, for directing the segment. Like, you know, I didn't particularly, now as a film as a whole, I was disappointed with Wonder Woman 1984. The whole storyline, the script, all that shit was just a disappointment compared to the first movie. But at least they paid them the thing so that way they wouldn't get lawsuits and this and the other. Disney is just basically saying, well, you know what, you should just be grateful for what we gave you, and it is what it is. And we're like this big tentpole giant. We're Goliath or you're David, and you should just suck it up, Buttercup. But I don't know I'm not a Bible person, but I do remember how that story between David and Goliath ends, and the little person eventually took the big giant out. So with Disney being ugly with a lot of the stuff that they're saying, I'm really hoping, like, you know what, this is going to shed eyes on the situation and make more people pipe up about it. I thought maybe Dwayne Johnson was going to come out and probably be the one to sue, because, you know, he's in Jungle Cruise, and Jungle Cruise was just released in theaters and on Disney Plus simultaneously. But he's, what I just read in the article, he says he's not suing. He's not going to take them to court. Probably because he wants to be a good old boy and still work within Hollywood, and he doesn't want to be stuck in the, legalities or whatever the case it is. So Dwayne's going to still play it safe and keep making those movies for good old Hollywood and keep it moving. But from what I also heard, Emily Blunt's in this movie too. So I was wondering, like, it was going to be a predicament for her, because, you know, the drama between her and her husband that they're having with Paramount Plus, with the window that they closed on their contract from when they were doing A Quiet Place 2. So yeah, we have the report here. So they said shortly after its debut, the National Association of Theater Owners, that is NATO, for those of you who didn't know, the industry's main trade organization, asserted the simultaneous release of Black Widow in theaters and on streaming cost Disney money in revenue per viewer over the life of the film. However, the suit notes that Disney stock rose after the company disclosed the rental figures, saying Disney chose to placate Wall Street investors and pad its bottom line rather than allow its subsidiary Marvel to comply with the agreement. To no one's surprise, Disney's breach of the agreement successfully pulled millions of fans away from the theaters and towards its Disney Plus streaming service. The Wall Street Journal, which broke the news on the lawsuit, reports that sources close to Johansson estimate that the decision to release the film concurrently on Disney Plus resulted in $50 million in lost bonuses. So pay the girl her money. She deserves it. Disney was more or less interested. And these are the people behind us, these corporate overheads. Bob Chapek, the one who's basically running Disney right now, and that whole situation. You're more worried about your financial bag than the people who are creating. Because word on the curb was Kevin Feige was pissed off, and I wouldn't be surprised if he told Scarlett, because as he's a producer and he's someone who is creative and an artist, to push forth with your lawsuit. Go ahead and do what needs to be done. Because I 100% agree with them. You're more interested in bringing eyes on Disney Plus instead of doing what, not abiding by the contract. And if you want people to go into Disney Plus, that's great. Because I know at the beginning y'all was struggling a little bit. Y'all had, because of the pandemic, y'all had no movies or whatever the case, or TV shows to put on your streaming service. So they had to go out of their way to pull whatever stuff that they needed to pull. And you know what? On one hand, I am glad that I got to see a lot of these movies on these streaming services. And look, a lot of people aren't even going to spend money to go watch the $30 for streaming service. You could have one person spend $30 and invite like 20 people over to.
Dare you, Mr. Spears? You had me fooled. And you too, Mrs. Spears. Death to all of them.
Yeah, so we have Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, and I'm sure, like, with this thing, you know, we got her putting eyes on this situation, and I feel that if this be a game changer in Hollywood, I guarantee you, we're going to see a lawsuit at Paramount Plus with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. We're going to see what on the curve is Emma Stone with Cruella. There's some stuff brewing about that as well. So you're going to see a lot of people who are shortchanged by Hollywood who are going to take on these giants, and they're going to be screwed. So I'm thinking the reason why they're doing it is because the industry is trying to figure out how to survive in a post-COVID world. How to get butts back in the theater.
Dare you, Mr. Spears? You had me fooled. Dare you, Mr. Spears? You had me fooled. And you dare you.
Okay, Wendy. Can you hear me now? I know my mic was muffled for a second. But it's like, yeah, so I'm team I'm very much team Scarlett, and I want to read you guys also what's Kevin Feige had to say about it, because you know, Kevin Feige is the architect of the MCU. He is the one that has been behind getting a lot of the movies that we've seen, the TV shows, all of them intertwining everything. Like, he is the mastermind behind all of this and all the movies that we love and adore from the MCU. So according to the reports, this is according to Cinema Blend, Feige is a company man and not prone to corporate showdowns or shouting matches, but I'm told he's angry and embarrassed. He lobbied Disney against the day-and-date plan for Black Widow, preferring the big screen exclusivity and not wanting to upset his talent. And then when the shit hit the fan, the movie started tanking and Johansson's team threatened litigation. He wanted Disney to make this right with her. And instead of them making it right with her, they decided to try to smite her with all of this. They try to make her look like the bad guy. So saying basically, oh, it's the pandemic. You want to blame everything on the pandemic. And then you go and say, well, we paid you $20 million. You should be happy with your $20 million. And it's like, why do I have to sit down and shut up and let you, you know, fuck me up the ass without a condom and some lube? And I'm supposed to just take it because I'm the talent? Like, no, that's not how that works. And you have to realize that if it wasn't for the Scarlett Johanssons and so many other of these people within this MCU, y'all would not be this billion-dollar franchise that y'all are rolling around in the dough as today. You need to be thanking all of your talent and the many writers, the producers, and the directors, and all these people who work behind the scenes tirelessly to give this entertainment to us fans who love these and adore these characters. Those of us who are spending hundreds of dollars to go to the movies to see our favorite Iron Man and Thor and Captain America and Black Widow and Hawkeye and the Hulk and Spider-Man and all these people that we've come to adore for the past decade. You need to be thanking all these people who work tirelessly behind the scenes. And don't think that if it wasn't for your talent, if it wasn't for those people that was working tirelessly to make these movies happen, Bob Chapek and the rest of you wouldn't have these bonuses that you could settle on. So, as I said before, I'm Team Scarlett. I hope that she gets her, you know, Them bitches better have her money, pay her what you owe her. And I'm sure this is going to be a game changer because, like, if she wins this lawsuit, like I said before, guaranteed you're going to see a lot of stars and a lot of celebrities who are rooting for this behind the scenes are going to come forth with their own lawsuits, and they're going to take on a lot of these giants. So I know a lot of y'all streaming services out here who's simultaneously shortening your windows for your movies, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Paramount Plus. Hope y'all got y'all that Brinks truck ready, backing up them celebrities' houses. Okay, so moving right along. Last but certainly not least, let's get to this whole Britney story. So, Britney's personal conservator, Jody Montgomery, says that she and the singer's doctors are standing by the pop star's request to remove her father as conservator of her estate. Now, in a court filed on Thursday, which was yesterday, Montgomery supported replacing Jamie Spears, who was 69, as co-conservator of Britney's estate with CPA Jason Rubin. Her medical team also supports the move, according to Montgomery, and say the following. Jamie should not continue to act as conservator of the estate because he's doing so is not in the best interest of the conservatee, the filing read, because the paramount concern for this conservatorship is doing what is in best interest of the conservatee. Oh my God, that's conservatee, conservator, so tomato. Petitioner hereby joins conservatee in the removal petition. And Ms. Montgomery respectfully notes that Ms. Spears' medical team agrees that it is not in the best interest of the conservatee for Ms. Spears to be and remain conservator of the estate. Montgomery also described Rubin, the nominated replacement, as eminently qualified for the role. Well, I want to know what qualifications does this person have to be in the best interest of looking over Britney Spears. So my thing is, once Jamie Spears is removed, I'm still wondering, is she still going to be under a conservatorship, or is she going to be, or is the conservatorship going to be done and she can live her life freely as a woman, like spending her own money the way she sees fit, driving, taking, doing what she needs to do with her boyfriend. She can marry him, have more kids, spend a lot more time on her kids, and do all the things regular normal people do. So I'm wondering, like, okay, so what is the end game for this conservatorship? Is it just to remove her father, or is she going to be out of the conservatorship completely? Because I feel like we're so fixated on Britney removing herself from her father and the toxic leeches that are her family members, especially her mother, who all of a sudden wants to come to her defense and, she's team Britney. But where was all that energy when Britney over the years was quietly fighting to emancipate herself from this whole conservatorship situation and remove herself from her toxic ass father, whose only interest is in fattening his own pockets? Because word on the curb was he was paying himself $20,000 out of his own daughter's pocket to pay to financially support himself. So he was taking her money. So my thing is, once she removes him from conservatorship and she sues him, she about to put his ass in the poorhouse, because you're literally out here robbing your own child. And it's disgusting. Like, you see what money does to people. It just shows the ugly side of human beings, where you look at your child as nothing more than an ATM machine. You don't even love your kid. You just love the fact that she's a cash cow to you. You can just leech off of her and her money and her finances. And as a sociopath, allegedly, you're just taking advantage of your kid, and you're threatening her and putting mean things into her head and making her feel kind of a way, according to the documents, where she's feeling depressed and she hates you and her own kids hate you. And you're saying that she hates her father and she's fearful of him. So it's the end of the road for this family. And then her sister and all her bullshit, and then Britney putting her on blast saying, basically, I paid for your condo that you're living in, but you said you never financially benefited from me. When quiet as is kept, you have. So the medical team is behind her. They're basically saying that, you know what, he needs to be removed. And shout out to People Magazine for this story. Then it also said that in 2019, Jimmy stepped down as a conservator of her person after an alleged physical altercation with Britney and ex-husband Cat Federline's son, Sean Preston, who is 15. The exes are also parents to son Jaden James, who is 14. Now, at the time, Montgomery, a care manager, took over as Britney's conservator, but he's still finding ways to financially benefit. So my thing is, release Britney from all of this bullshit that y'all got her going through. Leave Britney alone, in the words of Chris Crocker, and live and let live. Let this girl live her life. I'm sure after she's released from all of these shackles that y'all have on her, then we'll probably get the comeback from Britney that we deserve. But it's probably why it explains what it is why she be half-assing the performances on stage. She didn't want to be up there because of the contract y'all put her under, because of the way y'all were treating her, because of the threats and the drugs that y'all had her on and all of the stuff. So, Britney, I'm rooting for you, and hoping that, I think the next case for the whole conservatorship is in December. So we have until the end of the year, and then hopefully 2022 we will finally see that light at the end of the tunnel. But yes, like I said, Britney, I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait for you to just release yourself, remove yourself from these toxic ass family members of yours. So on that note, thank you all for watching another brand new episode of On the Line. I'm your boy, Kris Avalon, and until next time, I just want to say, ciao, darling.
This is for faggots.